Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. You know what today is, don't you? It's Motivational Monday, and I'm glad you're here. Those of you who are right out of the gate, storming the gates here first thing. First of all, full disclosure, it is a recorded show today. But that's cool, right? I've got some good stuff for you. And secondarily, Mondays always mean a new special of the week. So special of the week this week, we have Sleepies. Now, I'm going to give you just a quick little teaching about this. I love this formula, by the way. There's so many things in here. There's tryptophan, which is an amino acid, and that helps, tryptophan, turkey, tryptophan, snore. Yep, that one. It's got GABA in it, which helps to calm the mind chatter. That's what that one's about. It's got valerian root, which helps your body to go to sleep, and chamomile, also calming. It's got passion flower, calming. We need a lot of calming. Lemon balm, calming. And just a hint of melatonin. Did you know that most people they'll go and they'll look at the melatonin and they'll grab the one that has the most milligrams? And I'm here to tell you, it's that little tiny bit of melatonin that's going to be better, 5 milligrams or less. So this only has 2 milligrams. So Mark takes 4 of these. I take 2. And it's just the right amount. It helps us to sleep every single night. If you buy 3, you're going to get 1 absolutely free. Isn't that great? We do this. So get stocked up on Sleep Ease. You are going to love it. Of course, it's all natural. It's not addictive, nothing like that. But it will make a difference in your sleep. The nights that I have not taken it, I've regretted it. So I always have to get up and pee. Just don't tell anyone, okay? Sleepies is our supplement of the week. You can find it at savingdinner.com/show. And you will get that. All you have to do is just click on the button, add it to cart, and we do all the rest. Okay? We take care of this for you. You don't have to worry about it. So I have to tell you about that. Is there anything else I have to tell you about? I think that's it. That's our big hoo-ha. That's our big excitement here. But we also have a great quote of the week, which absolutely dovetails into exactly what we're talking about today. And it's a Brendan Burchard quote. And I love Brendan Burchard. I think he's phenomenal. And it's people on a path of purpose don't have a lot of time for drama. Right on. Pinky's up on that one. So I just say, wow, that is really incredible. That is the truth too. Because if you've got your focus on drama, you don't have your focus on the things that you want in your life, because nobody wants drama. Right? Am I right about that? That's the truth. So, this might be a good one to put in your journal and think about, and ask yourself the question, what drama am I participating in my life? Can I opt out of this, or at least participate less, or at least not put my 2 cents in? Because oftentimes we have this idea that we need to add our 2 cents, don't we? Sometimes we just don't. So cheers. Here's this. This is my hot melt mix, of course. I'm going to be adding some gelled chia seeds upstairs before I leave for pickleball today. And by the way, I am going to be in Florida this week. I'm going down to Atlantic Beach, Florida, if anybody knows where that is. I guess it's right outside of Jacksonville. I've never been. Lincoln has been invited too, so is Mark. We are playing. We have some really good friends down there who have a place here, and they have a place down there as well. And we are playing in a pickleball tournament with them on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be interesting. Sunday is going to be a late night getting home. We're doing that on Sunday. And I am so excited because I haven't played a tournament for a while, and this is going to be a lot of fun. It's with friends that we love. So we're going to be able to see them. And they said, yes, of course, bring Lincoln. They're 2 blocks from the beach, and the beach is a dog beach. So what can I say? I'm ecstatic. I am so excited about this. There will be a recorded show on Wednesday, and Thursdays will be a best of. Sorry about that. This is how this whole thing works sometimes, but do be here tomorrow. It's a live show. I hope you're good. All right. What else can I tell you? That's it. Oh, and those of you who are in our class, take back your body. This is it. Don't forget tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, we are on week 3. And boy, am I excited about that. I might give it a little hint of what's to come with that. There might be a little something in here for you to think about in today's show that can be applied for the lesson as well. So let's do that. Let's take a look at that. All right, shall we get into it? I hope so. I hope you like this as much as I do, because I needed to hear this. I really needed to hear this. And there's a phrase that I want you to also maybe pop down and put into your notes of things to think about in your journal, in your journaling. And it's avoiding avoidance. And I think this is something that we need to really think about, because if we can avoid avoidance is often a tactic that we deploy to protect ourselves, to stay in the comfort zone, to not have to go forward. It could be a procrastination tactic as well, avoiding something. So if we, though, make a decision that we are not those people, we do not avoid avoidance, right? We don't. We avoid, well, we do avoid avoidance. In other words, we are going to take our life on. Avoiding it is not going to help. Being one of those people that's one of your tactics doesn't move the ball down the field, doesn't get you the vibrant life you're seeking, doesn't do you any favors whatsoever. And for myself, this is something I pulled out of my journal, is avoiding something like a phone call or anything like that puts you in the place of not having what it is that you want. It puts you in the place of always having whoever, always getting a no, when if you had asked instead of avoided, there may have been a possibility of saying yes, for example. So this is how we hit our goals. This is how we get the vision of what it is that we want for our lives, when we are those people who understand that avoidance shouldn't be part of our toolbox, but instead just stepping up and saying, you know what? I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not going to avoid this situation or avoid it. So to me, it's an outmaneuvering kind of a tactic. That's what it is, because we have to outmaneuver our want of comfort, of ease, of not being uncomfortable. Because honestly, it is uncomfortable. I don't care what anybody says, to have to confront something. We like convenience. We like ease. We like hacks. We like stuff that just makes our life that much better. And there's plenty of places in life that we can deploy these hacks, these conveniences, this ease of accomplishment. Yes, definitely, of course. But for other things, like having to show up for the appointment that you made for yourself to do a workout, or get some cooking done in the kitchen so that you're prepared for the week, or whatever it is, this is, you can't replace this hard work. You can't replace it with convenience. Now, one way that you could maybe do this is, you don't have to go roast a whole chicken. Go buy a grocery store rotisserie chicken. That's just fine. There's some ways that we can do this, but what I am talking about is the avoiding of avoidance, so that you can say, you know what, I don't avoid anything. I just go for it. I'm that woman. I am like a heat-seeking missile. My eye is on the target. My eye is on my goal, and that makes it so that I'm going to go down that path regardless of what's there. So this quote that I love from Brendon Burchard, "The Path of Purpose." Oh, I'm snagging that, by the way. The path of purpose is the path to vibrancy. because they go hand in hand. That's just the truth. There's your truth bomb for the day right there. The path of purpose is your path to vibrancy. And this is where you see yourself lit up, heart, mind, body, and soul. This is where it all comes together. This is where you go, aha, this is it. This is what everybody's talking about. And it's me. I'm experiencing this. This is my life. How cool is that? Your path of purpose. So I'm going to say something that's going to be very unpopular. Nobody's going to like it, but I'm going to say it anyway. You know, we used to hear these kind of things from our elders, our parents, you know, and maybe grandparents, but it's the word sacrifice. And I'm going to tell you, we have to make friends with this idea of sacrifice. Because if we're not willing to give up something that holds us back, like, remember I told you that story about the woman that I was coaching who was not willing to give up cheese, even though her skin was a mess, her bloating and her weight loss not happening. She just, my cheese, she was just so crazy about her cheese. If you're not willing to give something up in order to get something better, you're just pretending to be on this path of purpose. And you're just pretending and just kind of, you know, dragging your feet down the path of purpose. What does that look like? Do you see this in your mind's eye? I see it in my mind's eye. And I said, that's a drag. And it is kind of like thumbing your nose at the creator, the one who made you, the one who put you on this planet in the first place. If you are to be the apple of his eye, it is up to you to be that woman on the path of purpose, seeking out what is there for you and living out your days in vibrancy. That's attractive. That's beautiful. That's the thing right there. And everything else falls into place. Everything else falls into place. Am I right? You know I am. So here's the thing. A lot of times we look for the word candy, ways to tickle our ears and make us feel good all the time. So we can avoid the actual work and the commitment to doing the work. You know, we're looking for things and ways to get out of it. Now, I love a shortcut and a hack, like I said, all of that. But I also know that those weights that are sitting in my little gym, they are not going to lift themselves. Even if I found a hack on how to do it faster and more, you know, and I have, you know, like you could do compound sets, you know, where you're squatting and pushing at the same time, you know, so you're using two different body groups and getting two exercises done at, like, you know, for the price of one. You could do that, but it's not ever going to replace having to go and, you know, say hello to the weights and get the work done. Never. I'm going to have to do that. So we have to look also at the difficulty and the uncomfortableness to get what we want versus living by feeling and impulse. We all do that. You know, and I oftentimes will say to you, does this feel good? I want you to start asking yourself this question. Does it feel good? Now, you might say, you know what? No, lifting weights doesn't make me feel good. But does it after? Sure it does. Even with the sore muscle, because you feel accomplished and you feel like you've done something for your body. And you know, without a shadow of doubt, if you've taken any time to read the research, that you are definitely doing your body good, your muscles and your skeletal system and the whole bit. You are doing good work for yourself and you should feel good. But we also don't want to get into the place when I have heard this too. Listen, I've coached a few women, okay? I heard one woman who told me, this is probably about 6 months ago, it's just so unfair. Why? You know, she said, I work out, I do all these things, and it's just so unfair that I have X, Y, and Z going on. I'm not going to say what it was. And she said, I should be able to fill in the blank. Entitlement much? You know? Listen, constitutionally, we all have either, you know, we all have some genetic weaknesses in our systems, which doesn't mean you can cop out and say, well, in my family, therefore. No, it just means that genetic weakness that means that you just need to be a little more cautious, a little more careful. You don't have to end up with the same situation. There's very few things in this life that will make sure that here's your genetic passer honor, you know, but things like heart disease and diabetes and all of that, that does not need to be a part of your story. That genetically, you might have a gun that's loaded with that, but only you pull the trigger when it comes to diet and lifestyle. Remember that. That's the truth. Any doctor will tell you that too. So we need to allow for the difficulty. We need to allow for the uncomfortableness and just be with that, knowing that we can get to the other side simply by performing the action that we've committed ourselves to doing anyway. No more Irish goodbyes out of the Hot Milk Sprint group, y'all. None of this. Show up, do the work, be proud of yourself. And then look at me, I did the work. Look at Tanya, day 600. Do you think she's done the work? Do you think? Well, of course she has. And that's why she's there. And then she'll post a moment where, here's a place where I'm kind of wobbly after day 600, because that's what the journey looks like. There's wobbly moments. There's times where you feel really unsure and you feel really uncomfortable and it's not fun and you don't wanna. But if you are on the path of purpose and if your vibrancy is your goal and it's the thing that matters, then you do it anyway. You suck it up and you do it anyway. We all want the shortcuts and the hacks. I do. And they do help me. But you reap what you sow every single time. That is the law of the universe, the law of the jungle, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And to have a productive garden, it requires that, number one, that you plant that seed in good soil. So you're going to have to amend the soil. You're going to have to get it ready. You're going to have to do all kinds of things to make sure that it's just right. A zillion years ago, when I was living in the hills of where I live now, in the mountains of, I was living in the foothills of these lovely, magnificent mountains that I live in now, of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And we had, the house that I lived in had acres, like 35 acres, I think, something like that. Or no, 3 acres. It was 35 acres total, but 3 acres of raspberries that had been planted. And it had, the raspberries were just crazy good, but the soil had to be amended. You had to cut down the brambles every year, and you had to amend the soil. And there was a certain concentrate of things that you needed to put in it. And we did the work, and then we got the harvest too. But if we didn't do that and just left it and let it go, I mean, we would have gotten a few raspberries, but not the abundance that we got. It required a lot. And that's how it is for anything. For anything that you want, you need to be prepared. Prepare your soil. What do you need to do? How do you need to amend things a little bit? Does it require that you sit down and take a look at your schedule and say, I'm going to have to move some things around? Because all I'm doing is saying, I don't have time, then I don't do these things. This is absolutely critical and important for me to get done in order for me to have the vibrancy that I'm seeking. Do you have that kind of analysis with yourself? If not, why not? Because we need to do this. That path of purpose requires it, this analysis. It's a requirement. And then, once you've got this good soil, not until then you plant the seed. You put that seed in. Now, planting seeds is an exercise of hope and faith. Because when you put that seed in, your hope is that it's going to come forth, right? And you have faith in that seed because you've planted it and you've prepared the soil for it. So planting the seed is just the beginning. All that hard work to get that soil just right. Then you plant the seed. Then you water it. Then you fertilize it. And then the hardest part comes up because now your little seedling has come up and there's all these other little things that are coming up with it. What are they? They're weeds. And it's up to you to get rid of those weeds. And let me remind you about weeds. That's not a one-time thing. They keep coming back. Even if you get the taproot, even if you get really deep and you pull that root, somehow, some way, some other weed is going to come along. And you just have to watch. And you have to be careful. And you have to know enough to know the difference between what it is that you planted and purposefully are trying to grow versus what the weeds are. Because sometimes weeds can even almost look like your plant. You want the real thing. You want true and genuine. You want to be on purpose and for purpose. That's your little plant there, on purpose and for purpose. It's promising to grow you something beautiful, whether it's a flower, a fruit, vegetable. It has a purpose, right? That's why we plant them. We don't just plant things willy-nilly. I mean, some people, just plant things, but why? There's always a purpose for that plant, always. Even if it's to hold down a hillside, even if it's just to keep the soil from eroding, there's a purpose for planting every single time. And there's a purpose for you to plant what it is that you want. But we have to remember that we have to allow for nature too. It's going to take time for that plant to grow and to become. It's going to take some time. Allow nature to do its thing. It knows what to do. Inside a little teeny tiny seed is all the nutrition, everything that it needs in order to become the plant that it is. However, without, it's still going to need the soil to grow in. It's still going to need the fertilizing to be even better than it was. It's still going to need the water and the sunshine. And a watchful eye to make sure that the weeds don't choke out what it is. Have you had enough of this yet, this metaphor that I'm beating like a dead horse? This is an important thing because this momentum that you create is the thing that keeps the ball going down the field. It makes you feel accomplished. It makes you feel good about yourself. And it makes you hang in there when the rough times come, because they will, right? They will. So trading momentary pleasure for tomorrow's deep satisfaction, growth, and results, it's never going to get you what you want when you view your health, though, as a worthy cause. Now think about that. That's a different thing entirely. Think about worthy causes. What worthy causes have you been involved with in your life that you were, gave money to, that you supported, and that you gave your time and treasure to? Yeah, those things. What if you did that with your health? What if you did that with your well-being? What if you viewed yourself in the light of, I am and my health are just as important as fill in the blank philanthropic cause? What if you did that? You'd look at things completely different. You wouldn't avoid anything there. You would go in it all the way, wouldn't you? So I will say that when you are looking at your health as a worthy cause and you don't perfectly execute, you don't dump the worthy cause, do you? Same with, a worthy cause that you're involved in. I've been involved in a lot of worthy causes, and I will tell you, they're run by people who are flawed, right? And they never go just beautifully and perfectly, ever. But some are more excellent than others. And part of the reason why is they see the obstacles with the same eyes that I'm asking you to see your obstacles. It's not to be avoided. It's to be confronted. It's to be analyzed. It's to be figured out. Because everything ultimately is figure outable. You don't have to stumble around. You don't have to, think that, it's just well beyond me. It's not. It's not. We do the best with what we have, always. But one thing I know for sure is that women on a mission, on a path of purpose, don't quit on themselves ever, because they have grit. And grit is the definitive line between women who quit and women who stay the course. That's it. Gumption, grit, chutzpah, whatever you want to call it. But it's the same women who stand up for themselves and say, no, I'm not quitting. I am staying the course because I'm worth it. So I've got 4 things for you. Okay. Number 1, decide that your goal, your health goal especially, is your cause because it's worthy, because you're worthy. Decide that right now today. Amen. Do you have some pinkies up on this one? I hope so. Number 2, give it everything you've got. And when you think you don't have any more to give more. And the reason that I'm saying this is we shortchange ourselves. Now, I'm not saying this about physical stuff. I just had that discussion. If Lynn shows up, hello, Lynn. I had that discussion with Lynn on our board. We were talking about overdoing it. And I know when I overdo it, what the consequences are. So today I had an opportunity to go play in the competitive league with Mark and then go play with my ladies at 1:00. And I said, no, I'm opting out. You know why? It's too much. So giving everything that I've got to one thing instead of all of the things is the wise thing to do. I don't need to be playing 5 hours of pickleball today. That will just destroy me. I've got a tournament coming up this weekend, right? And I know the limitations of my body. Part of getting in shape, by the way, is also recognizing the time that you need to rest and the time that you need to recover. Because it's in the days of recovery that's when the muscle is built. That's when the stamina comes, all of that. And it's really surprising. I was just recognizing today as I was climbing up the steps after Lincoln's Walk, how much my stamina has improved. I mean, I don't even get out of breath anymore going up those stairs. Interesting. It's all because of just doing it. Number 3 is to analyze, correct, and move on. Don't get stuck in this analytical thing by putting emotion behind it. Your emotion needs to be behind the focus of the life that you want. Your focus on the life that you want, not focusing on what it is that you don't want. The only reason we ever look back, really, and the only reason that we ever go in with full analysis is so we don't repeat, right? Lessons not learned will be repeated. So let's learn our lessons and let's move on. Use your experience file. This is the lesson from this. I'm going to keep this. The rest can go away, but I'm going to keep this so that I can continually grow and become the woman I'm meant to be, right? And number 4 is to never quit on yourself. Ever, ever, ever. When you quit on yourself, you're telling yourself you're not worthy. When you quit on yourself, you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment with the woman that you are meant to be. Imagine what it would be like if you stayed the course this time. Imagine and see yourself 1 year from today. What if you took that seriously? What if you listened to every single thing that I said today and you just said, you know what? That message was just directly for me. I am not quitting on myself. I'm not going to be this woman who avoids things and procrastinates and puts off my life. I am her, I am she who shows up and takes things head on because I'm not afraid. I'm full of courage. And I know that I am here on purpose and for a purpose. I'm on a path of purpose. And I'm going to find every single thing that I need to find along the way because I'm going to live my life in full bloom. I'm going to be the vibrant woman I'm meant to be. And I'm going to bless everybody in my world because that's what's going to happen. Remember, you are an example. Somebody's looking at you and saying, oh, I want to do it like she does it. I want to be like her. You don't know about it, but there's somebody out there saying that right now. So go be that shining example and show them what it is to live life in full bloom. You got this? I sure hope so. Don't forget to be here tomorrow for Tuesday's Transformational Tip Tuesday. We're going to be here live. It's my only live show of the week, so I sure hope you show up. Also, don't forget the announcements, savingdinner.com/announcements. That's where you find the supplement of the week and anything else that we have going on. Okay? I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.